Alright folks, another lubricant that you need if you got air tools, you gotta have this air tool oil. Okay? And you don't put a bunch. I mean just like about 6 drops. Alright guys, this is my old toolbox. You know, the problem with old toolboxes is, well, for me anyway, I wind up with a bunch of junk drawers. Okay, and it becomes a catch-all. But I do have a few tools in here I wanted to show y'all. You know, if you want to put together a toolbox that you can work on just about everything, you know. You're not going to work on a bulldozer out of this box, so don't get me wrong, but you know, automotive, down all the way down to small stuff, this box pretty much got everything you need in it. And you know, all types of the little bits and adapter bits, you know, Allen wrenches of you know, metric and standard. Then you know, hole he's going to break off or strip a bolt. So I just got some bunch of old stuff, you know, kind of throw together, you know, so if I need to thread something or whatever, I need to get me a new set. But man, they ain't giving them things away. And you know, the little die grinders and cut off wheels and everything, I just keep them in this drawer. And that'll be your yeah, that'll be your 1/2 inch drive. And you know, extra ratchets and whatnot, extensions over there. But that's all your 1/2 inch deep set. And then let me see if y'all can see. There we go. And let's see, what do you got here? Yeah, that'd be your 3/8. Let's see. So anyway, you got your open end, box end, metric, standard, your 3/8 and metric and standard, and there's some oddball stuff in there too as well. Nut drivers. Okay, here we go. Now that drawer right there's got a lot in it. Now you got all your short 1/2 inch over there. You've got all your 1/4 inch deep set and regular over here, and then you've got your other half of your that's your 1/2 inch on your long. So you got your 3/8 right there. There's the other half, the 3/8 deep set. And then I don't know why they built it this way, but that's where they built it. But there's the other half of your 3/8 on the regular, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, I bought that old box. It comes in these blue things. It's already got the dividers. They don't just lay in there, they actually lock in there. And well, I took the thing apart. It was like drawers. Okay, these things went into a plastic box like drawers. It's made by Cobalt. And man, I just pulled the drawers out. They fit down in here perfect. Okay, everything's got a place for it to go. And you know, when I open up one of these drawers, I look in there and I go, instantly I know, okay, I got 2 nut drivers missing. Okay, it says right here which ones they are, the 8 and the 10 millimeter, which so happens I know where they're at the moment. But you know, you could just, on a day-to-day basis, when you open your drawer to get something, you might notice that there's something missing, you know, like right there. Okay, but we're using that out there on the mini bike right now, so we ain't worried about it. And that's the reason I had to come in here, was get something, and I wanted to show y'all, you know, what I got going on here with this. Okay, and then the bottom 2 drawers, I'm not going to waste my time showing you, it's just more junk. I mean, it's tools, but it's all kinds of tools. So what we got to get to remove those forks, I'm thinking somewhere between a 12 and a 15 millimeter. We're going to do it with an impact. Well, I don't believe it, but those bearings are dirty, but they still got grease in them. It ain't much. But there's a little bit of grease still in those bearings, and they're all there. None of them are broke. And it's hard to believe. But I tell you what, everything about this bike has really been, you know, really good for an old bike. And I can see the bottom one too, because it's already dropped down. Let's see if we can get this off of there. Man, look how good that looks. That is just as shiny, no rust. I mean, there's just little to no rust at all. And there's your other bearing right there. Okay, this is the way it goes. If I put it back down there like this, it'd be upside down. This bearing goes in this way and rolls right there on what they call a race. Okay, so I think we clean them bearings up and reuse them. I don't see any reason why not. But yeah, that is just outstanding. I mean, really, really good. Gonna make a good bike. So, I don't know how well y'all can see this, but I got the fork sitting here upside down in the vise. But the reason that front fender, well, I ain't gonna say the reason the front fender was warped over is because of this bracket, but when that fender got, you know, bent over, it actually bent the bracket that the fender mounts on. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's bent right there. We gotta see if we can't straighten it up. Okay, it's a little bit like that. And then we'll straighten that up, then we can stick the fender back on there and see if the fender is warped. And if it is, then we're gonna have to straighten the fender. But anyway, so that's what we're gonna do here. Well, looks like maybe it needs a little bit right here on the corner. It's getting, that looks pretty good. What do y'all think? Let me know something. So I'm using a sandpaper foam. Okay, so it's a piece of foam rubber like you use at your kitchen sink, but this one has got real sandpaper on it. It's made that way. You can buy these things, and they're real good when you're getting in here on something that's got a curve in it, because it'll, you know, unlike a sanding block, which is flat, these will bend, so you can get in there and a rounded edge. Okay. And y'all can see now this bike ain't got no bunch of rust, so that's all that's gonna need. Okay, I mean, I'll smooth it down like that. I'll wash it with soap and water. Okay, and then before we do our spray paint, I'll wipe it down with a little bit of like a acetone, maybe a little bit of acetone. Okay, give it one good wipe, no wind blowing, and then we'll be able to spray paint. We're just gonna do you know, aerosol can spray paint, and that's what we're gonna do. Right now we got to get this bend out of this fender. It's a little bit better. So we got the fender done. I think it turned out pretty straight. I don't know if it's 100% perfect, but if there's any little something needs to be done, I'll do it with it on the bike. But I think that looks a lot better. So the good thing about doing this with this soapy water, and as y'all know, I just got bubbles like you blow, little kids blow bubbles. I got about 10% bubble mix, and the rest of this is water. Okay, maybe 15% bubble mix. And basically what I'm doing is what they call wet sanding. Okay, and I'm killing two birds with one stone. Now, soap and water, I'm cleaning this. Okay, you get rid of all the grease and oil and all that kind of stuff. And you're also wet sanding at the same time, making it good and smooth, so when you repaint it, it's gonna be pretty good. All right, we'll get a water hose. We'll get look at all that blue paint on my hand. Okay. So, I mean, that may be all the sanding I got to do. I think I do have somewhere, I've got one chip right on around the edge somewhere where the paint is chipped to the metal. I will have to come back and smooth that out a little bit, wherever it is. I don't know where it is right now. But we may not need a lot more on this. Maybe with a little finer grit sandpaper. You got to get all this damn paint powder off of there, because if you jump over right now to your fine sandpaper, what you're going to do is you're going to fill up the grit full of all this powder. Okay, this is already dried. That soapy water is already dried, and it's just full of this powder. So we get that cleaned off good, and then we come back sand it again. And we do need to clean the bottoms on the inside, so might as well do that right now. Oh, and by the way, soap is one of your good lubricants that you need in a shop if you're doing this type of stuff. Now, I'm not going to do a lot to the inside of these fenders. I'm not even going to repaint the inside of the fenders. They don't need it. I'm just knocking the dirt off of there. Now what I will do, you know, after we get done repainting these fenders, we're going to come back with some acrylic. The last thing we're going to do is spray inside and out with acrylic. And that's really going to make that paint job last a lot longer. And it's going to seal everything, stop the rust. And the other thing that it'll do is when you go to clean it, like you get mud all over it, when you go to clean it, that acrylic being on there, that mud and stuff will just come right off of there. I'll show y'all that later. That fender's done. Now we get this other one cleaned up. I already cleaned on this one a little bit. But if you were trying to do this with a vibrating sander or an oscillating sander, you wouldn't even get this done. I mean, it just wouldn't work at all. This is the way to go. You can get right in there. Okay, now we're done with them. I'll get the water hose. We'll get it cleaned up, and we'll take a look at them then. All right, folks, we got these all cleaned up. You know, believe it or not, I thought about doing what I'm doing right here and actually just spraying acrylic on that and leaving this original, well, it's not really an original paint job, I don't think. Somebody's doctored it up, but I just really like the way it looks, you know, the patina of it. But, you know, I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me know something. Leave something in the comments. I'm thinking about red, and the reason I'm thinking of red is because I think I can get the original fuel tank that goes on this bike, and the fuel tank that I would be getting, I think, would be red. I'm going to find that out tonight for sure. And if I'm going with a red fuel tank, and the motor, as y'all know, has already got red on it too, I'm thinking two-tone red on the fenders, and then I'll have to figure out about the frame, you know. So y'all let me know something, you know, leave something in the comments. You know, black, you know, the frame is black already, so it'd be a lot easier to paint that frame if I go back with the same color. Now, let me move y'all over. See if y'all can see this. You see that little bit of blue right there? Now, either somebody was shooting blue on the fenders and got blue on the frame, or the fact is this frame was originally blue. So they made this Massimo bike in 5 colors, and blue is one of them, and red is too. And so with the blue there, and then you got blue right there, and you got some blue there, and that's some overspray on there. I'm thinking this bike was originally blue. But, you know, if I was getting a blue fuel tank, then I'd go blue. But so I think the fuel tank's really going to dictate the color of this. So anyway, I don't know. Y'all leave a comment. Let me know what you think. All right, folks. Now the bottom of this motor mount, this is going to be a little bit harder to clean. Soap and water ain't going to do it. It's got the gunk buildup from oil. Probably the old motor had an oil leak, so it's got some pretty thick stuff in there. Now this is some stuff that I keep around the shop called gum out. Okay, carburetor and choke cleaner. And I like the B12. I like the gum out too though. B12 is my go-to, but where I bought this, that's all they had, so it'll work. Your brake cleaner works real good too. Okay, so but anyway, and you can usually buy it cheaper too. But anyway, this'll get rid of the grease. Okay, now you don't want a fan blowing when you're using this stuff because it evaporates really quick. Okay. Now one thing about this stuff here, you can't just put it on anything. Sometimes it'll even buckle the paint. Okay, somebody does a little cheap spray paint job on something, and sometimes this stuff here is like paint remover. I mean, it'll strip it, but it's doing okay over here. Alright, same thing here on the top. You've got that grease. It's almost like grease. That oil has gotten so thick and it's full of dirt all around these little crevices. Alright folks, I got a little bit of white gas in here, a little bit of camping fuel, and that'll cut the grease. Okay. And the good thing about this white gas, you can use regular gasoline if you want. This doesn't stink near as bad. It does evaporate a little better than gasoline. Alrighty then folks, we are done for today on the mini bike. We just run out of daylight, but we'll be back on it again tomorrow. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. We will see y'all later. Bye.